Thanks, Van. Obviously, great honor to be here. Just growing up in the Southeast and, attending a Southeastern Conference school and working in the SEC for 7 years, the Sugar Bowl is a huge deal. It's a huge honor. It was always the game that, as a player or coach, you dream of coaching in or playing in. So, honored to be here. We got a great challenge ahead of us, and, but our guys are prepared and looking forward to playing here in a couple days.
James Crepia from AL.com. Rhett, the passing game has struggled this season as a whole, mainly because of Sean's injuries. They're doing very poorly against pass defense. Just how confident are you they're going to be able to take advantage of a very porous pass defense, and how confident are you that Sean will be healthy for this game?
Yeah, Sean's practiced the entire bowl prep. I think he's looking pretty good right now. He's had a couple good days the last few days, and there's no question when we were playing well in the middle of the year, we had pretty good balance offensively. We were very efficient throwing the football. I think right before he got hurt, he was leading the league in pass efficiency, completion percentage, touchdown interception ratio, yards per completion, a lot of good categories. And he got hurt, and just as a whole, the last couple games we were very poor in the passing game. So that's going to have to be something we do well in a couple days, and just keep the balance that allowed us to be successful when we were playing well.
Here in the front.
Barry Trammell with the Oklahoman. You guys have signed Jarrett Stidham, which we know well in Big 12 country. Can you talk about going after him, how you got him, what you sold him on, those kinds of things, and how that's affected Sean, an incumbent starter who now is going to, looks like, have to fight for his job again?
Right. Well, every year you're trying to go out and recruit players at every position. You bring in a new quarterback or two every year, so that's not uncommon. Obviously, Jarrett's someone who's familiar with our style of play, our style of offense, back from when he was in high school even to at Baylor. So we thought that was a good fit. Just the more we got to know him and recruit him like we do other people, we just thought he was a good fit for what we do in our program. As far as Sean goes, Sean's been great. I mean, Sean has prepared for this game. Sean and all of our players were worried about this game. Every year, again, you're bringing in players at every position. And so every year, guys know in the offseason they're competing. I think competition brings out the best in everybody, and I don't think it'll be any different in this scenario.
In the back.
Jason Caldwell, inside the Auburn Tigers. Rhett, when you look at the health, obviously Sean's health is important, but what difference and how big is it to have Cameron Petway and Kerryon Johnson both closer to 100% as well?
It's huge. I mean, hey, in leagues like the SEC and the Big 12, I mean, you're going to get beat up throughout the year, so injuries are part of it. But, some of our impact players being nicked up late in the season didn't help. And even Kerryon Johnson's a guy who played, from that Mississippi State game on, was pretty much banged up most of the year. And we were just talking yesterday, it looked like he's kind of back to full speed and just looking like his old self. So, in a game like this, when you're playing such a high-quality opponent, we're going to have to play extremely well on our end of the football. Trying to have all your guys as close to 100% is a big plus. And hopefully then, we've had a couple weeks here to try to regain the momentum and kind of the form we had during that six-game winning streak in the middle of the season.
Right in front.
Rhett, going back to Jarrett, just can you speak to his skill set and just what he brought to the table that enticed you, particularly in the passing game? And you touch on how that impacts Sean, but have you spoken to John Franklin about how that impacts him and any position change or anything like that for his future?
No, John's playing quarterback, and again, we're going to bring in good players every year. We do think Jarrett fits. His skill set fits what we'd like to do very well, but so do the guys we have. So not any disrespect to him. Kind of want to focus on the guys playing in this game because I think they've earned that. But Jarrett, he can obviously throw the football well, throw it vertically down the field. But he's going to have to come in and earn the respect of his teammates and earn the right to have a chance to play, just like the guys who are here are going to compete as well. So, again, Sean and John and all the other quarterbacks, Jarrett was on campus a couple days during bowl practice, and those guys got along just fine, and there wasn't any issues, and I expect it to be that way in the spring.
In the middle back here.
Mark Murphy from Inside the Auburn Tigers. Talk about going in against a team that's scoring about 45 points a game. Does you feel more pressure as an offensive coordinator to try to keep up?
Well, there's no question that what they do offensively has been impressive. Lincoln's done a great job, and They put a lot of pressure on you as a whole football team. And that's why, I say we're going to have to play extremely well. It's a team game. We got to pick the defense up. They have to pick us up. And the last couple games, we didn't do our part. And so, we do feel like we're healthy. We feel like we've had good preparation. This Oklahoma defense is a pretty good defense now. They do a really good job in their league. They're sound. They do a very good job of mixing up coverages and fronts. They're very multiple. They've got a player that can really get after the passer, number 31, is really, really good. He can really affect the game. And so, I think that for us to go out and just play our best and be balanced is key for us always. We can't be one-dimensional. We got to be better on third down. Going in most of the season, we were one of the top third down teams in our league. The last 3 games, obviously, we were one of the worst. And so staying on the field, keeping the ball away from them, but obviously giving us a chance to score some points, that's when we were at our best this year. And we got to get more explosive and get back to that balance we had during the middle of the season.
Red, a couple of years ago, you thought you were going to be in the Sugar Bowl and that Sean and Cameron were going to be the two guys you were counting on as much as you are. That probably wouldn't have been what you expected. Could you just talk about what they've done over these last couple of years to kind of put themselves in position they're in?
You're talking about Sean and Petway?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Sean's, again, one of those kids I've said before that has kind of always been a little bit of the underdog. And he's got a great competitive desire, and that's what his guys love about him. And he just keeps coming at you. And so having him out there, I think, gives our guys a shot in the arm just because of his competitiveness. And he's always, anytime a challenge has been brought up and people kind of write him off, he usually rises to the occasion. As far as Cameron Petway, we recruited him out of Prattville, Alabama. He was a running back. We kind of weren't sure if he'd be a running back and H-back. He was a bigger back. And first year he played H-back, and then we had some depth issues going in the season at running back, and we said, let's see what he can do. And I thought Tim Horton, made a comment at the end of the spring, said, he's going to be just fine. He said he may end up being our best guy, and it wasn't a cut to any of the other guys. And, sure enough, about 2 or 3 games in the season, he got hot and got rolling. And, him and Carry-On really complement each other well. But what he's been able to do this year has been really phenomenal and been a big lift for us.
Jay Tate, AuburnSports.com. Hey, Rhett. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, how you doing?
You did some kind of cool experimentation with some plays this year. I thought the single wing was something we were kind of watching.
Yeah.
Tell me kind of how you assessed how that all worked out. I know you ran some of that in the Iron Bowl. Just kind of looking back on that.
I think when we were 3 games in the season, we were struggling. I think one thing too is, I think it was a couple games left in the season. At one point, 88% of our yards came from freshmen and sophomores this year. So we're a pretty young football team. So those first couple games, we played some really good teams in Clemson and A&M and even Arkansas State, who won the Sun Belt. And, we weren't really clicking very well at all. And so we were able to kind of step back and try to simplify things. It allowed us to play faster, maybe not quite as many formations and changes, but allowed our guys to play faster, adjust better on the move, and maybe just play with a little more confidence. And probably allowed us to start executing better, because at the end of the day, it's not about how many plays you have, it's how many plays you can run well. And so I think that's why when we started playing well at the middle of the season, that was probably the biggest adjustment we made. And that kind of took us away from some of the things like the single wing and things like that. But, when we had injuries and things happen towards the end of the year, sometimes you search a little bit to try to help give you guys a better chance to be successful. But, again, we're just trying to, get our guys' confidence to the point where at one point in time we were leading the SEC in total offense, not too long ago. So we've got it in us. We just got to make sure we show up and put our best foot forward.
Right here in the middle.
Coach, Justin McNally with WSFA. You still have one more game left, but how big is it having a guy like Cam Petway coming back in 2017 for next year?
Oh, it's big. It's big anytime you have the SEC's leading rusher in yards per game coming back. And again, he got on a roll and got on a tear. I think he only played really in 7 or 8 of our games and still had a really, really good year. But in our league, you can tell you're going to have more than one guy. So, but it's huge, and you just hope that after having 1 year of playing running back in our league under his belt, have a great offseason, that he can even have a better year too.
We have time for one more question right back in the back.
With all the bowl practice, extra practice back in Auburn, were some of the young guys out there stepping up and playing well, and specifically Woody Barrett, how did he do in practice?
Yeah, that's one of the best things about the bowl practice, especially when you're at your home site. We had about 8 or 9 practices there, and every day the young guys get more reps, get more individual work, especially early on in the bowl prep. You're able to scrimmage them and let them play, and Woody did some good things. So we let our young guys play. Woody took predominantly all those reps, and that's almost like an extra spring ball for those guys. So when you look at, we're going to get to the spring here in a couple months, hopefully those 10 to 12 extra practices that Woody got, being in our meetings and not just being with the scout team and those kind of things the whole time will help speed up the development process for him and a lot of those other younger guys.